Salah scored tonight, become Liverpool's top Champions League goalscorer, overtaking Stevie G in doing so. We're asking, has Salah given more to Liverpool than Stevie G? Who wrote this? Oh, my word.
You did.
Who? I didn't.
Jason Cundy Sports Bar.
And is he in the Liverpool all-time best 11? Mohamed Salah's numbers are ridiculous. His minutes to goals ratio, his goals in the Champions League now, as I've just highlighted, he has overtaken Steven Gerrard as the greatest goal scorer in the Champions League for Liverpool. Now, we know that there was European Cups before, and you know there'll be other Liverpool players that you can put in and around him, but we're going to compare with Steven Gerrard because he overtook him goal-wise. And the question here that we're asking is he done more for Liverpool? And I'm not saying in terms of his commitment to Liverpool, but in terms of what he has done. He's playing in a better team than Steven Gerrard.
He's got a better manager than what Steven Gerrard had.
He's got a better player. Steven Gerrard walks into this Liverpool team right now, for me.
Yeah.
Steven Gerrard's one of the best midfielders this country in my generation has ever produced. And if he was around now, he walks into this Liverpool midfield and makes them even stronger than they already are. But I want to stick with Salah. Does he get enough respect, Salah? Because if you had to ask me who I would go for. Go on, I want to get your thoughts first.
With Mo Salah, right? You said about his numbers. I think he suffers a little bit from, because he wasn't a success at Chelsea when he was younger, and it was probably.
That's strictly speaking, he didn't get the chance.
Yes.
And the reason he didn't get the chance is because the Hazard was ahead of him.
Right,
and so he was not going to get the game time.
And also, he was a bit younger, and I can remember Jose gave him the hook in. It was in a cup game at half time because he wasn't physically as strong as what obviously he is now. When he went to Italian football, it was.
He is definitely He's definitely
changed
matured,
physically,
without
right.
question.
Yes.
Without question.
And also, he had to sort of prove himself again, didn't he? And then he scores goals in Serie A, obviously for Roma. And then there still was the question mark when he came back here. Was he going to be able to handle the pace and power of the Premier League because the jury was still out on him? Now, you said about his numbers. So when Liverpool got him for 40 million quid, there or thereabouts, right?
Yeah.
You look at his numbers since he's been back. The first year, I think you always judge someone by their Premier League goals because the cup goals can skew it a little bit because you can score 5, can't you, in the Carabao Cup? You can FA Cup.
This is true.
Right?
This is true.
So if you look at his numbers, first Premier League season, 36 Premier League games, 32 goals, right?
Ridiculous.
Second season, 38 games, played in every game, 22 goals.
Again, anything over 20, again, brilliant return.
Last season was his worst season.
Yep.
Funny enough, and Liverpool obviously won the top. 34 games, 19 goals.
He's going backwards.
Exactly.
He's going backwards.
This season, 10 Premier League games, 9 goals. So his stats are unbelievable, and I think he suffers from that sort of stigma of because he didn't do it like the first time. Now, you're talking about him alongside Steven Gerrard. Steven Gerrard played in a lot of average Liverpool teams and used to drag them up himself, didn't he? Used to drag the performance, form about himself, and inspire.
Is the perfect example
exactly,
of that,
inspire
right?
everybody else. Right? FA Cup finals against West Ham. Yeah. You could go on and on. There's European nights at Anfield where he's dragged them up. So if I'm saying Steven Gerrard is an all-time great, no doubt whatsoever.
I'm with you. So far, I'm right alongside you. Mo
Salah, I think, is on the way to being an all-time great. But this is his 4th season, and you have to have sometimes with the longevity. If you look at the trophies of, he's won a Champions League, Mo Salah, he's won a Premier League, the FIFA World Club Cup, but that's sort of like a token thing.
It's a trophy, but it's not the biggest of it yet.
Steven Gerrard, Champions League, which he won virtually. That's the game that he really pulled him up 3-0 down, when it pulled him up by 2 FA Cups, 3 League Cups, and UEFA Cup. And he was there. The legacy is Steven Gerrard won club as well, and I think that means more to fans. 17 years he was there, and he had his head turned a couple of times by your lot as well, didn't he? But he ended up staying put. So I think Mo Salah's probably got a little bit more to do to be an all-time great. But I still think, ridiculously, I think he's underrated, because you were talking to me like earlier going, well, you'd rather have Mane.
I'd take Mane. I would take Mane over Salah. And I know I know that if you're doing just based on numbers, but Mane for me is more. And I'm not a Liverpool fan, right? We're going to go and speak Liverpool fans in a second. Who is more important right now, Mane or Salah? Salah's numbers are just a joke. It's almost like you've made them up. That's how ridiculous they are. And
well, the ones I just read out there are Messi-esque, aren't they?
Is the Egyptian Messi?
In a league that is miles more physical, isn't it? It's miles more tempo about it. And he rarely gets injured. He has a little injury because he's so quick and he takes so many tackles. He has little ankle knocks here and there, didn't he, or maybe a calf over. But he's a lot tougher as well than what people give him credit for.
I don't doubt for one second that he has physically grown since he left Chelsea. He's gone away. His physique now, you cannot knock him off the ball. Incredibly strong on it, incredibly strong off the ball when he makes those runs at the box. But does he deserve a bit more respect? I think is probably the right word, because, like I said, for me, given the choice, Mane, I think is Liverpool's best front man. But what do you think? 08717 22 33 44.
Do you think his profile on like Twitter and stuff like that, he doesn't court publicity, does he? He's not.
No, but does Mane.
But I'm talking about Salah compared to what we call other superstar footballers.
Right.
He's very quiet and he's very humble.
Yep.
He's low. I'd imagine. Look, Jurgen Klopp was saying he's very low maintenance for someone with those sort of numbers. He's not. Like a big-time Charlie.
No, you
so
get the fact that he goes in there, he works, his work ethic, you thought everything about him is a proper pro.
Yeah, and his profile is all about the football, which I love him for. It's all about the football, nothing else. Nothing about his personal life, not about his cars, not about the clothes that he wears.
Oh, he's got great cars, mate. I've seen his cars.